on, people? LP2000 right back at you with another video. Yes. Welcome back to another edition of Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews on behalf of Collect All Monsters. And I know it's been a minute since I put out my last video. I think the last video was the Favorite Sculptors line, X Plus 30cm 1974 Godzilla figure. I think that was back, what? I think in October, you know? And I've been trying to get some videos out. I really have. I just been so busy, you know, in my personal life, in my professional life, you know, whatever. But again, since y'all already know, it's common knowledge now that come this month, I'm going to be shutting down the channel. Not shutting down the channel, I should say. More or less stop producing regular content. And I had a few projects that I need to get to before that deadline comes, quite frankly. This project, and I probably got like maybe at least 3. So 3 more videos after this, and after that we're going to be done. So I figure I better get a move on with these reviews, you know what I'm saying? But again, you already clicked the title, you know exactly what and who we're covering here. This is really a nostalgic video for me, quite frankly, because again, without this movie, without these characters, I would not be sitting here in this chair right now. I would not have become a Godzilla fan, but of course you already know that. So again, let's dive headfirst into this awesome review. And today, or double figure review I should say. So today we take a look at the X Plus 25cm Ric Exclusive set of the 2012 Winter Wonderfest set of Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, as well as a 3D printed custom gigantic size Jet Jaguar, all from the awesome campy fun kaiju flick from 1973, the film that first ever made me a Godzilla fan, Godzilla vs. Megalon. As you can see, I have the awesome figures here in all their glory. Oh my God, this is so great to have these in my collection. Yes. So let me give a huge shout out and thank you to 3 special people for making this video happen. First and foremost, Nick Sydes. I was able to acquire the 25cm X Plus set from him. So thank you, Nick. I really do appreciate it. I've been wanting to get this set for a long time. More so Godzilla, but again, I'll talk more about that later on. And of course, Kenny Kurtz, he's the man responsible for the 3D print of this sculpture of Jet Jaguar. Thank you very much, good sir. And last and certainly but not least, one of my go-to artists in the community, one of the best artists that we have in our community right now, and he's a great, wonderful close friend of mine, the one and the only Marcellus Winters. Thank you, good sir, for painting and building this Jet Jaguar for me. I really do appreciate it. So again, thank you to Nick, thank you to Marcellus, and thank you to Kenny for making these figure acquisitions happen for me. Now, let me just show the packaging with the Jet Jaguar and Godzilla set from X Plus first, you know, before we get into the gigantic Jet Jaguar from Kenny and Marcellus. But it came in like a brown box, you know, just no artwork of the figures on the box, just basically the legal jargon, or at least the promo of the set on the box, you know, in Japanese text, you know, Winter Wonderfest 2012, Godzilla and Jet Jaguar 1973, Winter Wonderfest, blah, blah. So not really too extravagant with the box, to be honest with you. But again, this set is extravagant to me because, again, I've been wanting to get this set for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to grails, and I really, as a collector, I don't really like saying that I have grails I want to get, because that means I have to be relentless in trying to hunt them down. You know what I'm saying? But again, I was able to acquire some great stuff for myself over the years, for me being an X Plus collector. And some of these pieces you would consider grails in a lot of respects, because for one, they have not seen a lot of reissues, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, the X Plus Gigantic Series Megazord, you know what I'm saying? That can be considered a grail by a lot of people. Or the X Plus 25cm 1984 Godzilla, you know what I'm saying? That figure does not get talked about a lot. More so the Sakai 84 as well as the 30cm 84 gets talked about more. But that figure does not get talked about a lot. And to my knowledge, that figure has not seen a reissue, so I'm sure some fans would consider that a grail. Or the X Plus 30cm 1964 Godzilla, the closed mouth with the blue dorsal plates. That can be considered a grail, you know what I'm saying? So again, I was able to acquire some grails in my collection. Or the X Plus Gigantic Series, I forgot about this one, the X Plus Gigantic Series purple edition of the Awakening Shin Godzilla that was released by the Godzilla store a few years ago. That can be considered a grail. But for the longest time, I really wanted this set. I really wanted this set, again, more so for Godzilla than the Jet Jaguar, because I do have both these figures already in my collection. You know what I'm saying? The standard versions of both Jet Jaguar and Godzilla from the 25 centimeter scale. But I've always wanted this one, more so because of the open mouth that Godzilla has. But I'll talk more about that, about the history behind these figures momentarily. Now, the backstory behind Jet Jaguar, the gigantic size Jet Jaguar, is really a simple one. When Marcellus and I, again, when we were talking about gigantic size sculptures of monsters that we want to see, of course, again, you already know I got the gigantic size awesome Titanosaurus a couple months ago, courtesy of Kenny and courtesy of Marcellus. But right at the same time, Marcellus was really developing some ideas of his own. And he came up with an idea of a gigantic series or gigantic size Jet Jaguar sculpt, you know what I'm saying? And at the time I wasn't really into it because, again, I was more focused on getting the Titanosaurus done. So when Marcellus told me that he was working on Jet Jaguar, I was paying a little bit of attention to it, but not too much. But once I saw it printed, once I saw it built and painted, I was like, you know what? Get me one of those. So that is how I got my hands on the Jet Jaguar, the gigantic size Jet Jaguar, to be honest with you. Now, in regards to Godzilla vs. Megalon, because again, y'all already know that's my first ever Godzilla film. Coincidentally, it's celebrating 50 years this year. Can you imagine that? 50 years that this film has been around. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of fans don't really particularly care for it, especially when you compare it to other better made entries in the series. But again, I would never bash that film because, again, that was my gateway into Godzilla. And I have to be honest here. As far as 2023, now there's been some love shown to this film, you know, in terms of the shorts that Toho put out on Godzilla Day, you know, the Cavity Colors collection, T-shirt collection that they put out this year. But I have to be honest here, I haven't seen a lot of merch in regards to this film, as far as like collectibles or figures. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have not seen too much, especially ones I want to go after. And you would have thought that X Plus would have put something out this year in regarding to this film. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they do that. Sometimes they put out figures to coincide with a certain monsters or film's anniversary. But X Plus did nothing this year in regards to Megalon, which is kind of weird. Now, mind you, the most recent figures that they did do in regards to this film was, of course, the 30 centimeter Megalon, which ended up becoming the figure of the year in 2021. A few years before that, they put out the 30 centimeter Jet Jaguar, right? They put out this set in 2012, you know what I'm saying? The individual releases of both Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, they first came out, I want to say, in 2010, and then they were reissued as a set, like I said, in 2012 here from Wonderfest. Then they were reissued individually in 2016. So again, they put out some great stuff in regards to Megalon, but this year alone, they have not done anything. And you would have thought they would at least put out, since they already done Jet Jaguar and Megalon in the 30 centimeter scale, that they would have done at least a Godzilla 73 in 30 centimeter, or at least a 73 Gigan, you know what I'm saying? But nothing. And I found that to be really, really weird. Or a gigantic size Jet Jaguar, you know what I'm saying? They could have done a gigantic size Jet Jaguar. Because again, Jet Jaguar is kind of like the Ultraman that X Plus has put out in the Gigantic series. And they're not really expensive in terms of how they're built and put together, because they're not as bulky as a Godzilla figure with a long tail and dorsal plates. Again, with them being more slim humanoid forms that they're sporting, they are more affordable and they're a lot cheaper than what you will find in an X Plus Gigantic series figure of Godzilla. Quite frankly, they have done Ultraman, they have done Ultra 7, they have done Ultraman Ace, Ultraman Jack, Ultraman Taro, but for some reason they have not done a gigantic size Jet Jaguar. So again, kind of like Titanosaurus a couple months ago, I just got tired of waiting. To be honest with you. And again, that's why I was really hell bent on trying to get these figures in my collection. You know what I'm saying? But it's weird that they didn't put out a lot of stuff for Megalon in terms of merch. You know what I'm saying? But again, it is what it is. But in regards to this set, again, I've been hunting down this set for a long time, and I can add this to the many Wonderfest collectibles I was able to acquire for myself. Because you already know, X Plus at these Wonderfest shows, whether it be the Winter Wonderfest or Summer Wonderfest on any given year, sometimes they put out figure exclusive that you can get at the show, or they may pop up online shortly thereafter the show. And looking back on what I've accomplished or figure acquisition as far as like X Plus, I do have a number of Wonderfest exclusives in my collection. Again, this set right here, you know, that was released in 2012. I also got my hands on the 30 centimeter 1954 Godzilla, the natural color version that came with the Oxygen Destroyer. That is an awesome figure. I think that came out in 2013, 10 years to this year, as a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? I got the X Plus 30 centimeter 2015 Summer Wonderfest figure of Kiryu, the 2002 Kiryu with the blue backpack that came up with the light up in his eyes, right? That was a great figure. Or the X Plus 30 centimeter Gargantua set that came out from, I think, I want to say, was that Winter? I think that was Winter. Well, was it Winter? It might be. But it came out in 2011 of the Gargantuas. So I got that in my collection. Coincidentally, the enemies of both Jet Jaguar and Godzilla here, the 25 centimeter Megalon and Gigan, that was put together as a reissue set. I want to say in Winter Wonderfest in 2016. Or how about the X Plus 25 centimeter sort of Godzilla set with Godzilla, Minya, and Kamanga? That came out late 2016, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to acquire a few Wonderfest exclusives in my collection. But I think out of all of them, this was the one I was really looking forward to the most because of Godzilla himself, you know what I'm saying? But again, that is the backstory about how I got all these awesome figures, you know what I'm saying? So how we're going to do this, we're going to cover the set first, then we go into the GiganticJet Jet Jaguar. And again, I've already covered, you know, the 25 centimeter 73 Godzilla and Jet Jaguar on my channel before, so I'm not going to rehash a lot of stuff I said in that video. And that video has been like some years ago, you know what I'm saying? But still, I'm not going to rehash a lot of stuff I said in that video. But when you compare, let's say, Jet Jaguar, this Jet Jaguar, up against the original Jet Jaguar, it's really the same figure, you know what I'm saying? All they did was just they just changed the arm pose on the Wonderfest one, you know what I'm saying? Where the original had his arms like where his hands are like clenched, you know, whatever. Where this one has that typical Jet Jaguar pose with that karate chop on one hand and the fist balled up or open up a little bit on the other hand, you know, whatever. So that looks good. You know, again, the sculpts are the same. The paint job is the same between the two. They look really, really good. And I have to say, out of all the X Plus Jet Jaguars that they have done, I have to say, I think the 30 centimeter has the best sculpt, but I think the 25 centimeters have the best paint job. I think the paint job pops out more on the 25 centimeters, you know what I'm saying? And again, they look well together, but again, there's not much of a difference between the two except for the arm poses, you know what I'm saying? Sculpt's the same, paint job's the same, the attention to detail in the eyes are the same. Look really, really good. You know, that's enough with Jet Jaguar. Now let's go to Godzilla. And again, Godzilla was really the main selling point for me wanting to get this set, as I said a few times before already. More so because of the open mouth. That's the thing. When they made that set, basically all they did, they just took the Ric options of both individual sets and made them to Ric exclusive figures and combined them into a set. You know what I'm saying? And when you compare this Godzilla up against the original 73 Godzilla, again, it's the same figure, but again, there's two noticeable differences. Of course, you know, the standard came with the closed mouth, and this one came with the open mouth. And of course, the arm poses on both are different. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Jet Jaguar, you know what I'm saying? In a lot of respects. But again, I've always wanted this Godzilla with the mouth open. You know what I'm saying? I thought that the sculpt of the head was awesome. The paint job on the teeth and the interior of the mouth was awesome. And between the two, I've always wanted this one. And I came close a few times to try to get this into my collection, but either I missed out on it or the money was too high. Because again, this set was really not only sought after from a lot of collectors, but it was really, really up there in price. You know what I'm saying? But as I've always said in this hobby, it's not a question of if you get something, but when you get something. And again, the stars were aligned, and again, Nick was selling his set, and I jumped on it. And again, this was really a real acquisition. But again, when you compare both Godzillas, they look really, really cool. You know what I'm saying? Again, the sculpts are the same in a lot of respects. The paint job is the same, you know, dark charcoal gray, more so whitish dorsal plates, you know, whatever. But again, the differences is the arm poses and the open and closed mouth options, you know, or whatever. But it looks really, really good. Godzilla looks really good, whether you got the standard or you got the Ric exclusive, you know what I'm saying, as well as Jet Jaguar. But as a set, this is an awesome set. And again, it's funny that I was able to acquire that set on the 50th anniversary of this film that made me a Godzilla fan in the first place. So again, the acquisition was timely and it's awesome. So again, thank you to Nick for this awesome set. Now, let's go towards the gigantic size Jet Jaguar. And again, not much of a big backstory. He kind of falls in line with Titanosaurus, like I mentioned earlier. Again, Marcellus whipped up this sculpt. He sent it off to Kenny. He put off the pieces. He got the pieces back to Marcellus. He put it all together and he painted it and all that good stuff. And again, it wasn't until I saw this guy paint him, I was like, you know what? I do want one. Because again, I've been waiting for X Plus or somebody to do a gigantic size Jet Jaguar, and nobody has done one just yet. There have been X Plus, there have been Marmots, there have been Bandai's, there have been lots of Jet Jaguar products out there, but nobody has ever done a gigantic size Jet Jaguar until now. You know what I'm saying? And the sculpt looks great on Jet Jaguar. No different than Titanosaurus that y'all saw a few months ago. But the sculpt is really, really cool. It's really reminiscent of the 30cm X Plus Jet Jaguar. Again, with the fist clench on his right hand and the karate chop on his left hand. So again, I like the sculpt of Jet Jaguar here. Not much really going on here with the sculpt because it is basic. Again, it's not like Godzilla where it got dorsal plates or a tail swaying in a particular direction or whatever. It's more of a stationary pose. But again, we saw a lot of this from Jet Jaguar from the film. So the sculpt looks really, really cool. It's really, really cool, excuse me. Height-wise, he stands at 18, 19 inches tall. So again, he is a true gigantic, and he looks great up against other gigantics, to be honest with you. Whether that be the X Plus Gigantic Series Mechagodzilla 1974, that is awesome, you know what I'm saying? Or the X Plus Gigantic Series 1989 Godzilla, even though they were from two different eras, it still is a great shot seeing those two together. Or my gigantic size Tenjitsu Crash model kit, resin model kit, if you will, of the 1971/72 Godzilla, you know what I'm saying? So he does pair well with certain other gigantics in my collection. Or how about him up against a gigantic size Ultraman, since Jet Jaguar was basically Toho's response to the Ultraman craze. Seeing Jet Jaguar up against Ultraman is awesome considering what could have been if those two got it on. But again, Ultraman inspired Jet Jaguar, so that's the meaning behind that size comparison. But it's funny seeing those two together, you know what I'm saying? Because you wouldn't have one without the other one. But again, he does sizes up well with certain gigantics in my collection. Now the paint job, again, Marcellus, you already know. You've seen his works on my channel before. The gigantic size 84 from Tenjitsu Crafts, the Resin Chef 1972 King Ghidorah, the KOC 40cm 1954 Godzilla. Oh my God, you see his great work on my channel, and I'm sure out there on Facebook a lot of times from a lot of different people. They have subscribed to his work, and this work is really, really no different. It is stellar. It is great. Again, the paint job looks really good. You know, the blues pop out, the yellows pop out, the silver pop out, the reds pop out, you know, whatever. And he actually had this special made for me in regards to the head. He wanted some special material to be made in regards to the head, more so his eyes, to give off that glistening look, you know, whatever. And I'm glad he did that because the head looks really, really good, especially with the eyes, you know, with that obnoxious smile that we all know Jet Jaguar to have. Looks really, really, really good. The pointy head looks really, really good. This thing is very, very photogenic. You know, it's kind of hard to take a bad photograph with this statue, if you will. So it looks really, really good. So from top to bottom, sculpt-wise, paint job-wise, he did a phenomenal job with this Jet Jaguar. Kind of like Titanosaurus, he did a phenomenal job with this Jet Jaguar, you know what I'm saying? So between the X Plus 25cm 2012 set of Godzilla and Jet Jaguar from Winter Wonderfest, and of course the 3D printed statue of the gigantic size Jet Jaguar from Kenny and Marcellus, thank y'all so much. This is really, really cool. And again, to acquire all these figures on the year that this film celebrates his 50th anniversary is very timely and very appropriate. You know what I'm saying? So that's it with the backstory, how I got them, the ins and outs of the figures themselves, the sculpts, the paint jobs, you know what I'm saying? They're all awesome, in my opinion. Now, let's do at least one size comparison. Now, I'm not going to drown the figure review in size comparisons, quite frankly. You know what? Again, since this film does celebrate a milestone anniversary this year, 50 years that this film has been around, you know what? Let's bring in all the collectibles that I have in regards to this film of Godzilla vs. Megalon, you know, as far as like X Plus figures and posters, you know, whatever. Let's show this film some love before we get up out of here in this awesome year of 2023 in this first and only size comparison of pretty much all the Megalon collectibles I have in my collection. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Okay, folks, here we are. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Yes, it's a celebration of this campy, awesome film. And yes, I said awesome, even though I know some people don't really particularly care for it, but that's fine. I love this film. It was my gateway to Godzilla, so I will never bash this film for whatever reason whatsoever. And this is pretty much all the collectibles I have from this film. Now, mind you, I do have a few picture books and a couple of shirts that couldn't make it into this shot because, again, I kind of forgot how much stuff I had from this film. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, pretty much the whole table is covered. But yeah, this is pretty much by and large, pretty much everything I do have. At least a good chunk of it, I should say. So let's go from left to right. Of course, in the far left, you have the Minute and the Hour, the 25 centimeter Ric Exclusive set of the 2012 Winter Wonderfest set of both Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. They look really awesome right there. Of course, behind Godzilla, I have the Blu-ray copy of Godzilla vs. Megalon, which I'm still a firm believer in physical media, even though I know that streaming is more so the way to go nowadays when it comes to entertainment. But you never know. A storm may come in and knock out your Wi-Fi, but yeah, you can always pop in a Blu-ray disc and still watch your favorite movies. So I will still always keep that that disc on hand, to be honest with you. Below the 25 centimeter Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, of course, I have their X Plus Death of Real counterparts with the Ric Exclusive Jet Jaguar and the standard Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? They look really cool. Next to them, I have their enemies from the film, the Death of Real X Plus Megalon and Gigan from 1972, since X Plus is incapable of doing a 73 Gigan, which again, you would have thought they would have put one out this year in regards to the film's anniversary. But it is what it is. Of course, above them, I have the X Plus 25 centimeter 2016 Winter Wonder Festival set of both Megalon and Gigan, which looks really, really cool. Above them, I have the X Plus 30 centimeter Jet Jaguar. And of course, next to him, I have the big guy in the back, the 3D printed gigantic size Jet Jaguar. Next to him, I have the awesome art piece courtesy of John Bellotti Jr., also known as Robo 7, with that awesome poster of the movie, which looks really, really cool. The colors pop, kind of like the figures themselves. The colors pop out on that thing, and I really do love it. Below them, I have the X Plus 25 centimeter standard editions of both Godzilla and Jet Jaguar. And last, and certainly but not least, in the far right, I have the X Plus Figure of the Year of 2021 with the awesome 30 centimeter Megalon. Yes, that figure was the first non-Godzilla figure to ever win Figure of the Year. Because up until that point, a figure of Godzilla himself pretty much won every single Figure of the Year poll that we've done for the past several years. But Megalon came in 2021 and said, you know what, Godzilla, I got this. You know what, you can take a break this year. I got this. And you know what, even though I did personally vote for the favorite sculptors line Gigantic 54, I can't deny that the 30 centimeter Megalon is an awesome figure, and it's so well deserved that it won a top spot that year. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is pretty much all the collectibles I have from this film. And again, I didn't expect to have that much, but it just goes to show you that even though I'm aware of the film's shortcomings and where it lacks and how it can be considered as a cheesy kids movie and maybe kind of damage Godzilla's reputation amongst casual fans here in the West. But at the same time, this was a film that pretty much made a lot of us growing up in the 70s and the 80s Godzilla fans in the first place. So for all the damage that this film kind of did, we cannot ignore the great things that this film did. You know what I'm saying? But I'll talk more about that towards the tail end of the video. But that's it with the first and only size comparison with pretty much all the collectibles I have from this amazing film from Godzilla vs. Megalon. So you know what? Let's go to the final commentary portion of the video with my final thoughts of both the X Plus 25 centimeter 2012 Winter Wonder Festival set of Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, as well as the 3D printed gigantic size sculpture of the awesome Jet Jaguar. And you know what? Let's go to that final commentary portion of the video right now. Okay, folks, I'm back with my final thoughts of the X Plus 25 centimeter Ric Exclusive 2012 Winter Wonder Festival set of both Godzilla and Jet Jaguar 1973, as well as the 3D printed gigantic size statue of Jet Jaguar from the epic appearance from Godzilla vs. Megalon. 10 out of 10. The set is great. The statue of Jet Jaguar is great. And, God, it's amazing. I'm speechless right now, as you just saw. Yeah, I'm so glad to have these figures in my collection, and again, to acquire them on the year that this film turns 50 is really a cool thing, to be honest with you. Again, Nick Sydes, you were a blessing, good sir. Help me out acquire this set, because again, this has been like one of my grails that I wanted to acquire for myself since I've been an X Plus collector. You know what I'm saying? You probably would say this is the one that really got away from me. You know what I'm saying? There have been some great X Plus figures over the years. They have not gotten a reissue, or you would thought they would have got a reissue. And again, this Godzilla in particular with the open mouth, I've always wanted that. So again, thank you for crossing the bucket list item off my list, Nick. I really do appreciate it. And of course, Kenny and Marcellus for the GiganticJet Jaguar. Again, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for taking the initiative. Hopefully it'll spur, or at least motivate more companies to get on board and doing a GiganticJet Jaguar. Again, you would think that the timing of this would have been perfect for this year. But again, nobody has ever done a GiganticJet Jaguar until now. I don't know if Marcellus is doing any more. He might do maybe 1 or 2. I would suggest contact him on Facebook, Marcellus Winters. And if you want a GiganticJet Jaguar, this is the only place, the only person to find one to help you get one is Marcellus. And I can personally vouch that he would do an awesome job as he has done with mine. And if you want a GiganticJet Jaguar, contact that dude and you will get an awesome treasure. There's no question about that. Yes. Now, before we get up out of here, again, let's celebrate this movie. Now, again, I know that this movie doesn't sit well with a lot of people, especially when you compare it with other better made entries in the series. And the timing of this video is kind of timely because just this past a couple weeks ago, or like a week and a half ago, I should say, at the time of this recording, of course, Godzilla -1 came out in the theaters here in the United States, and it's an awesome film. It is a serious interpretation of Godzilla, and it's getting rave reviews not from the Godzilla fans, but also non-Godzilla fans, casual fans, you know what I'm saying? Because it brings Godzilla back to a more serious light in terms of storytelling, which I really do enjoy. But around 2 or 3 days after the film came out in the States, Legendary dropped the first ever trailer of the next Godzilla film coming in, I want to say April of next year, 2024, with Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. And let's just say, if you thought Godzilla vs. Kong was a wacky trip, acid trip in a way, this trailer kind of suggests that we're in for more acid trips. It is wacky, it is over the top, it is goofy, it is silly, it is all that good stuff. And there are a lot of fans that enjoy it, but there are a lot of fans that don't enjoy it because, again, after coming off from seeing -1 and now seeing Godzilla in a less serious, might as well say silly light, especially from that trailer, it really has divided the fan base. But at least it's gotten Godzilla fans talking, to be honest with you. But I've seen a lot of criticisms in regards to the Legendary Monsterverse, in regards to how they have treated Godzilla at least in these past couple films. Now, let me just say, I enjoy the Monsterverse. I don't believe they're the end-all, be-all in terms of Godzilla films. I find them to be fun films. You know what I'm saying? They're not meant to be taken too seriously. They're just big, fun, popcorn Hollywood flicks. That's all that they are. That's all I want them to be. That's all I perceive them to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. But to jump on the Monsterverse for being silly, or at least having Godzilla do silly things like running and jumping and doing all these humanized things, let's not forget that the Toho Godzilla has done some humanized things in the past. Whether it's in 1962 where he's doing that hand clapping when he's taunting King Kong on the slopes of Mount Fuji, right? Or how about when he flew in Hedra? Or how about when he talked in Gigan? Or how about when he did the tail dragon drop kick in this film? Or how about when he did basically all the outlandish things in Terror of Mechagodzilla? Or how about when he did the flying body cross on Megaguirus? You know what I'm saying? So even the Toho Godzilla has done some silly stuff. And to me, this is just my opinion, I think it's very hypocritical to jump on the Monsterverse for having Godzilla do these things when the Toho Godzilla has already done it. That's the thing. Godzilla is a multi-dimensional character. Why I love him so much, well, I'm sure why a lot of folks love him so much, is because he could be serious in one film, but he can be less serious in another film. He could be goofy and silly in one film, then he can go back to be the serious threat in another film. If Godzilla was the same character in every single film, this franchise, at least this series of films, would be boring. The cool thing about Godzilla, you know what I'm saying, is that they have basically made him into a multifaceted character where he doesn't stay in one character position for a long period of time. So there are going to be times where he's going to start off serious, then he will evolve into something less serious. But again, going back to something less serious and silly involving Godzilla, it was this Godzilla that made me a fan. Once I saw this Godzilla, I was like, you know what? I like that. I want to see more about him. And now, as it turns out, as it stands right now, my favorite version of Godzilla when he's a serious villain. But you know what? I can always go back. If I want to see a lighthearted Godzilla, I can always go back to 73 or 75 or 71 when Godzilla is less serious, when he is silly. But you know what? He was the reason that got me into the fandom in the first place. So I can never bash the silly Godzilla because, again, he wears all those many hats really, really well. So my advice to all the Godzilla fans out there that are just ripping the trailer to shreds, you are more than welcome and you are more than capable of forming your own opinion, and you are well within your right to not like the Legendary stuff. I will grant you that. However, to jump on Legendary for making Godzilla silly, but yet not jump on Toho for doing the exact same thing some years earlier, to me is kind of hypocritical. But again, of all the bad stuff that people say about this film, and yes, when you compare it to Monster Zero or Monster vs. Godzilla or even Destroy All Monsters, you know what I'm saying, the more better made movies from the Showa period, as well as later entries in the Godzilla films, you know, Biollante, Destroyer, GMK, even Shin Godzilla, right? When you compare Megalon up against those films, yes, this film will fall short by comparison. But that's the thing, if you just take it for what it is, as just a simple, fun monster film where you see monsters beat the crap out of each other, where we see our favorite hero monster beat the crap out of evil monsters, that's pretty much all you ever need. You know what I'm saying? And even still, as much as I love the villain Godzilla, I still don't mind every now and then to go back to Godzilla vs. Megalon to remind me of why I became a Godzilla fan in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So people, please, let's just enjoy what we got. You know what I'm saying? If you like -1 but hate the Legendary stuff, that's fine. If you love the Legendary stuff but you kind of like not really too high on -1, that's fine too. But let's just sit back and enjoy the fun times that we are having. Because just this year alone in 2023, this year has been really kind to us Godzilla fans. You know what I'm saying? The awesome collectibles that came out this year. -1 coming out. The trailer of Godzilla X Kong coming out. That just came out, I should say. The Pluto Godzilla TV deal that came out this year. The official launch of the U.S. branch of the Godzilla store happened this year. You know what I'm saying? The home video release of Shin Ultraman. Gamma Rebirth came out on Netflix. Monarch Legacy of Monsters came out on Apple TV. You know what I'm saying? There is so much stuff that we should be grateful for, that we should be happy about. But instead, we're going at each other. So again, let's just have fun. Kind of like this movie. Let's just sit back and relax and have fun, and let's not lose sight why we love Godzilla in the first place, because he could be so many different things. He could be serious. He could be evil. He could be an anti-hero. He could be silly. He could be goofy. He could be all those things. You know what I'm saying? Tell me another icon that can do that and do it really well. Not too many can do that, but I tell you what, Godzilla can. So let's just enjoy that fact. But in the meantime, Godzilla vs. Megalon, I salute you. Thank you so much for making me a Godzilla fan. 50 years of awesomeness, you know what I'm saying? We got a few more weeks to go and this year's out of here. But I want to do my part in honoring this film. Again, the film that made me a fan in the first place. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the awesome, campy, super fun Godzilla vs. Megalon. So again, if you're able to find the X Plus 25cm 2012 Winter Wonderfest Festival Ric Exclusive set of Godzilla Jet Jaguar, please go after it. You will not be disappointed. Or if you want a GiganticJet Jet Jaguar, hit up Marcellus Winters on Facebook and he will hook you up as he has done myself. And these are awesome, awesome treasures from this amazing movie. Yes, yes, yes. There's no question about that. Yes, yes, yes. So that pretty much includes my review of the X Plus 25cm 2012 Ric Exclusive Winter Wonderfest Festival set. Man, it's a long name. Of both Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, as well as the 3D gigantic size sculpture of Jet Jaguar, courtesy of Kenny Kurtz and Marcellus Winters, from the epic appearance from 1973's Godzilla vs. Megalon. You have any questions, comment down in the comment section. Hit me on Facebook via Lesbian Chambers. We'll definitely go from there. Yes, once again, this is great. I love it. Again, seeing all these figures together, again, makes me want to watch the movie, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I got the figures, I got the poster, I got the awesome shirt, the same image, whatever. So again, I'm going to do my part to show this film some love. You know what I'm saying? The year's not over yet, so you still got time to show this film some love. You know what I'm saying? And again, as I mentioned earlier, we are in the closing moments of Leslie Chambers Kaiju reviews. You know what I'm saying? I got like maybe 3 more projects, and then that'll be it. I'm going to try and get them all done before the year is out, because I did say by December I was going to shut everything down. We'll start producing content by December. But if something happens and I can't get these 3 projects done by December, I will get them done at least by the first of the year. But after the first of the year, that is going to be it. So again, thank you for those who have rode with me for all these many years, 10 years on YouTube. I really do appreciate it. But again, I'm going to do a going away live stream real soon. I don't know when that's going to be, because I'm trying to work things out in my, in my work schedule and my personal schedule. But I will have that done. I will make that happen. But again, I got 3 more projects, and I think y'all will love them once I get them out for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And again, that will be coming real soon. But in the meantime, hit up Marcellus Winters for this GiganticJet Jet Jaguar, or if you can find this Ric Exclusive set of both Godzilla and Jet Jaguar, courtesy of X Plus and Wonderfest. Even though it's rare, again, I was able to find one way after the fact. Because again, 2012, here it is, 11 years, and I was still able to acquire one. So if I can do one, or if I can do it, then you can do it. You know what I'm saying? But if you can find one for a decent price, I highly suggest you go after it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I honor you, salute you, thank you so much. My first ever Godzilla film that made me a fan. Godzilla vs. Megalon, yes. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again on the next figure move review. All right, y'all take it easy.
作ったロボットだけどジェッジャガージェッジャガーやったぜジャガー行け行け平和を守るためみんなも驚く勇気を見せるゴジラとジャガーでパンチパンチパンチ泣くな僕らも頑